Okay, great. So I'd like to call the meeting to order and start a roll call since some of our members are online. So Andrea Fonseca here.
Nancy Brown here.
Joe Palumbo here. Brian Farber here.
Agnes and Rose, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm parking. I'm coming right in.
Okay.
Rose Kratzley here.
Okay. All right. And with that, thank you very much. Welcome and thank you for being here. I'm gonna move to approve our January 7th meeting minutes. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Thank you.
That's all.
So yes, again, just to vote, Andrea Fonserrada, aye.
Nancy Brown, aye.
Joe Palumbo, aye. Brian, aye.
A Rose,
Aye.
Agnes, I.
Rose, aye.
thank you very much. I'll move to our next agenda item, which is the chair's updates. There's one that's not here because it came in later this week, which was too late. But we have a new charge.
There.
And it's been published and it's on our website. So I would like to ask all of you to look at it and study it. And so we can discuss it during our March meeting. I believe we have to realign some of the activities that we had planned, hi Agnes, for this year so that we make sure that we are complying with our duties and responsibilities and schedule different, like everything that we're not. I'm sorry?
Josh.
Okay, great. Thank you. So with that, we can come back in March and have suggestions and ideas of what other activities we can do. Does anybody want to say anything about the charge?
Not about the charge, but in 2021, the commission had its new charge. You probably worked on it, or you. And then in 2023, there was an actual strategic document that was created that set out what that was going to look like. I don't know if there was one before that or if that was the first one. What is the process for creating an actual strategic plan, not just a series of activities?
So the action plan was not only based on the charge, but we actually carried out a survey, the DEI survey, which is actually one of our agenda items for this year. That's coming up this year too. But we did a survey, and based on the needs back then, we came up with the action plan. So our action plan was based on evidence, which was it has been our reference since. And the different things that we implemented and programs really came out of the survey. Everything that we've been working on has come out of that. So in terms of the process specifically, I guess this year is very similar. We have a new charge. We're gonna have a survey. And hopefully we'll have the survey results if we can get it together by the summer. And then the commission can work on, the new strategic plan for the next years, for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't find the place.
We found it.
Does that answer your question,
It does, yeah.
Ryan?
Thank you.
Would one of the members who was here back then wanna add something? Am I leaving something out?
No, it's good, makes sense, and yeah, it made sense that the action plan grew out of the data from the survey.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, it will depend on when the survey is actually launched and, like the data analyzed and put together. But I guess right after that, the commission members can sit down and base recommendations for their, like agenda for the next few years off of that.
Mhm.
I guess the timeline, I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
what it's gonna be, but hopefully, before the beginning of the fall, we'll know how things are going.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so that's the charge. And then, Rose, I'm gonna go ahead and give the update for the Concord United item so that, you can take the other one.
Sure.
Okay, so Concord United, we introduced that group a couple of times already, I think. We had our first meeting and it was a very productive meeting. Just as a reminder, the composition of that group includes the DEI Commission's co-chairs, our liaison with the school, Dr. Michael Williams, and from the school, the chair of the school committee, the superintendent, the DEI director, and the chair of the select board, the chief of police, and Carrie Lafleur, the town manager. So I guess, and the objective of the group is to coordinate better when incidents come up and when DI related things, happen in town, and to have a trusted, I guess, safe space where we can come together and coordinate how we're gonna do that. The first meeting happened a couple of weeks ago, I think it was.
February 9th.
Thank you. And it went really well. We are starting. We're starting. So it's just really the beginning of getting organized and defining the objectives and the members. It's pretty early, I think, still, but that's happened. So
It's really
I'm
good.
really happy that happened. Yeah.
I mean, a cross-functional group like that, I mean, they're hard to bring together, but if you could bring them together and they can learn to build communication relationship, that's how you fix I mean, that's like organizational development basics. It's really good. So
I think
you
so.
and Rose bringing them together, whoever did it, but it's good.
Yeah.
It'll take them a while, they have to learn
Yeah.
along with each other. And
Yeah. Rose, do you want to add anything else about this? And Mark, also if you want to add anything.
Well, Joe's absolutely right. I think it's the basis for some coordinated planning and focus on some of the objectives. And, circling back to the charge and the select board's goals, we have a specific goal about improving community coordination with the school committee in the areas of inclusion and tolerance. So we want to work specifically on this. I think the school administration and the school committee is also very interested in it. And we had, as part of the discussion, some dialogue about what kind of shared programming and coordinated programming we could do. And I would just, circling back for just a moment on the updated charge, one of the differences that I noticed about this version of the charge versus the first one was the first one was largely developed by the group that proposed having a DEI commission in the first place and had relatively limited input from the select board at the time, is my understanding. And in this charge, we have inserted a couple of specific priorities, particularly the focus on anti-Semitism and trying to develop programming to help the community with those issues and other bias issues into the duties and responsibilities that we're hoping that the DEI Commission will take the lead on. So when we do have a more detailed review of it, everybody's had a chance to look at it. I'm hoping that you'll really, think about how to engage with those things, even as the surveys also develop other priorities or, additional priorities.
helpful.
Thank you. Michael, would you like to add anything?
I was really excited at the opportunity to have support from all the different power centers, municipal power centers in our community, all focused on not, I don't think, just looking at incidents, but you know, we have our schools, we have our municipal leadership, we have our town manager, all focused on the Concord we have and maybe looking toward the Concord that we want for all of us. So I think it's wonderful. Kudos to you, Andrea, and the DEI Commission for planting this seed and getting this put together, and the opportunity for us to actually across disciplines look at how to make the community want is exciting, is necessary, certainly time. So well done.
Thank you. Rose?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, I just want to echo that I think it was rather historic to have us all come together and convene and be able to engage in dialogue. And I'm hopeful for what that means for the future, in being able to come together with care and holding each other with compassion and transparency and timely follow through and all of the great things that come along with doing this work together. And so as we move to the next item on the agenda, I just want to really elevate, facets of our charge now that expressively state that members shall collectively reflect the diversity of the community and possess qualifications, experience, or lived perspectives relevant to the Commission's mission. It further affirms all applicants shall be considered based on their individual qualifications and ability to contribute to the Commission's work. These words will really guide, how we serve, representation, lived experience, and meaningful contribution being central to our Commission's purpose. So we also recognize that members of our community have expressed strong feelings, including pain and concern regarding recent decisions connected to our charge and what led up to it, and we want to just acknowledge that openly. Our responsibility to ensure that every member of our community is treated with dignity and that our work strengthens belonging across Concord. Is a shared mission. I also just want to acknowledge that we're operating in a national climate where DEI efforts are being publicly challenged, right? And in many cases, dismantled. And that context shapes how this work is experienced and feels locally. At the same time, I feel like our responsibility is clear. We remain committed to doing what we can together and to strengthen our understanding, our fairness, and our inclusion of our greater community. So further, as we take a deeper dive into our charge, we hope we'll all collectively do this homework and come back together after studying it with ideas, ways to engage, develop action plans, and how we could further collaborate with town bodies to report on measurable progress over time. And hoping collectively our work will be structured, transparent, and accountable across the board. I also, with that, want to thank two of our commission members that will be transitioning this spring, Gia and Nancy, for their dedicated service to the commission. Their leadership and commitment have strengthened our body, and as they transition this spring, we're truly grateful for their contributions. So just take a moment to just honor and acknowledge and appreciate Nancy and Gia.
Thank you.
And further, as we look ahead, we also look forward to chair's transition, and so I look forward to some room to breathe and to be able to pass the torch as we move forward this spring. In addition to doing that in collaboration with town meeting and other town bodies and towns, so passing the torch. So as we look ahead, we welcome the opportunity to bring in new members onto the commission. We look forward to working together and following up and hearing from our select board liaison Mark and bring forward nominations and moving them forward. I'm looking forward to ensuring that diverse voices and perspectives continue to shape this work collaboratively on our commission. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose.
Again, just so we can put it down for the record, what is the process, the actual process for selecting new members? I've not been on this side, so what is the public process?
So we've, so people who want to volunteer, to be members of this commission have, filled out a volunteer card. And we do have about 10 of them. Magnolia has been very kind to reach out to, everybody who filled out a volunteer card in the past. Two of them are from last year. The rest are from at least 2 years ago. So she did reach out to them to ask if they were still, interested in participating. And we do have two people who answered. One said no, two said yes, and we're still waiting for responses from the rest. Usually, people fill out their volunteer cards and then we interview them, depending on how many they are, we try to two of us to be in one interview, but sometimes it's just one of us. And then then we recommend, like we discuss it and then we recommend. That's how it's worked in the past. And then, yes, and then we recommend the select board, who's the ultimate decision maker. Am I leaving anything out?
Is there an
No.
open process where it's publicized that there?
Yeah, I think one of the things we probably should do is put on like the website that we have whatever many slots we have and just be more clear that there's open slots. Yeah, there's names in, but there's no reason someone else can't put a volunteer card in. I mean, they can do it at any time, but it might be a good refresh to tell people.
Yeah.
Can't hurt
Bridge
to ask.
also if you want.
What's that?
You can send it to a bridge also to make an announcement if
Yeah.
you want to write.
It might be worth noting that regular order for all boards and committees is typically the terms expire either at the end of town meeting or May 1st, or sometimes it's May 31st, but right around the end of town meeting is when almost everybody's term expires. APP 10, which is published on the town website, that's the policy that specifically has a lot of information, mostly guidance for what the select board or town manager is looking at for doing appointments. The formal process is that once people have come forward and been interviewed, discussed, met with the liaison for that group, they will appear on two select board agendas. First is a nomination at one meeting, and then usually the next meeting after that as an appointment, which gives an opportunity for public notice. It's rare, but occasionally we get some input about nominees. Truth be known, the situation usually is that we're trying to find people to fill open slots. If any of you ever decide that you don't, want to experience some other portion of town government, please see us, because we have personnel board assignments and pollinator health committees and all kinds of other things that are seriously seeking people. So you're in an enviable position to have the opportunity to choose amongst people who are interested in working in that.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So that's so that timeline, basically, we should have be ready for next month, like March.
Right, I mean,
Because in April and then May.
Officially, unless somebody actually resigns before their term is over, we're targeting, making those appointments, and we'd make them effective at the end of when a person's.
Say the terms are pre-town meeting, or so that's what
the DEI Commission webpage. Officially, all of your terms end on May 31st of whatever year it is, and there are three of you, Nancy G and Joe, who are doing that. And Joe, you don't mind if Joe has indicated that he's interested in being renominated, so that's tends to be the APP 10 specifies that people can serve 2 consecutive terms, full terms. And because this is a relatively new committee, many of you were appointed for partial terms, which don't count towards those 2 terms.
Oh,
So,
wow.
you know, you could be,
Good news.
yeah.
We've got some good news and we've got some bad news.
That was everybody.
Well, yeah, but when, you know, and initially what was happening was about approximately a third of you got a 1-year term, a third of you got a 2-year term, and a third of you got a 3-year term. And I don't remember the details exactly, but that's one of the reasons why this is on the webpage to help us remember.
Okay,
I didn't think of all the heightened interest in the DEI commission in the last 12 months or 10 months. It's in our interest to be very obvious and say to people, hey, if you're interested, now's the time, tell us.
But the regular time is a 3-year term?
The regular term is a 3-year term. You can, of course, if somebody resigns early, then you can be appointed to fill a partial term. But, you know, our real preference is, you know, and our hope is that people will come on and do that. I think it's more orderly and gives, but if, of course, if you're sitting here and you're saying, you know, maybe I have reasons why that shouldn't be done, this would be a great time to identify that you want to be replaced because we're doing the process anyway.
So sorry, just for transparency, we are all on the same page. So for Nancy and G, are you rolling off effective when? Is it the end of the term in May? So you're on until May. So this isn't.
Whatever the end of the term is.
Okay, yeah.
so
So we start the process and then they swap, basically.
Yeah, and you guys are doing it on exactly the right time, because it's February now, that gives us a chance to find somebody. They can attend some meetings and see what's going on, and then, hopefully they're ready to hit the ground running when their term starts.
Do we have a limit of how many people? Is there a magic number?
Yeah, I think it's
The charge for each
9.
committee specifies how many people.
ours says
be on the
9.
Committee,
9?
and this one is 9.
And how many do we have now? 7?
9,
No, first
Oh,
thing.
9, okay.
yeah, 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
exactly.
4, 5, 6, 7,
Who's missed?
2.
And 2 online makes 9.
Liam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
G.
missing today?
G.
Gee.
who was gonna be late?
And then again, for clarification, so Rose, you stay on as co-chair until also town meeting.
Yeah, that's the normal policy in Concord is the committee should elect their officers once a year. Obviously, you know, being the chair of a committee is a lot of work. And so sometimes committees make a decision for whatever reason to change their chair structure. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just an item that, again, should be on your agenda and take a vote and have that discussion when it seems to make sense for you. But again, most committees will seat the new body and then elect the officers for that term as well.
Okay, thank you.
Rose, when you check my minutes, make sure I got it. Oh. All right, sorry.
All right, Rose, did you want to?
Yeah, so we just want to adjust and move a couple of the agenda items up. First being our upcoming community coffee at the Goodwin Forum, which is scheduled for March 4th. I hope everyone will be able to join us, and we definitely are looking to have our community again engage with us. Magnolia, are we all set from the town perspective?
Yes, that's on the calendar now and the flyers posted.
Okay, great.
The town hall.
And everything that needs to be there will be there. Okay, great, perfect. Great, and then the next piece I just wanted to raise now is our, we're planning our second annual DEI Candidates Forum. And so Magnolia, if you don't mind just sharing, we've booked the, you tentatively have now booked the venue.
Yeah. the hearing room at the townhouse. This will be on March 26th,
Yes.
We have a
the-
start time,
5:30.
5:30, so 5:30 on the 26th at the
Townhouse
hearing room. Got it.
I'm proposing, last year for the DEI Candidates Forum, we had a Grant Hightower moderate, and that was well received. And so I'd like to propose having Grant Hightower moderate again this year.
Yes, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Great.
he was
So
really effective.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so those were the two pieces I wanted to make sure we covered as a commission. So would love to entertain a motion on both of those things, just so we can ensure we're all set with those pieces. And then Magnolia will need your support, of course, with getting the updated email addresses for all the candidates on file and doing the invitations, so where everyone knows and gets invited to join our DEI Candidates Forum.
So you're putting forward a motion?
Yes, I would love if someone can put forward a motion.
Oh,
I move to vote that we approve the DI candidate form. Do I have a second?
second.
Andrea Fonserrada, aye.
Nancy Brown, aye.
Aye.
Agnes, aye.
Brian, I.
Joe, I.
Rose, aye.
Josh,
Aye. Josh, aye.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Great. So we'll move to our next item, which is the bias hate incident reporting group, reporting working group update. Agnes prepared a report for us, and thank you very much. We're very excited to know what's going on.
Joe is my biggest cheerleader.
Tell us everything.
All right, I will do like a quick update, and then Paul, if you can present on the life cycle thing. Did I call it right? Life cycle. Okay. All right. So it's the document that I attached was really to talk about what we've done thus far and really give you an overview of who has attended, who is the member, who are the members and the goals of the commission. I think we started meeting in November 6th, and you see as attached to an agenda, we have Paul, Sandeep, myself, Dan, Deborah, and Kerry, who are the members of the commission. We also have a number of visitors who consistently, it's an open, they can contribute to the meeting. So it's not really closed structure like this one. We've had Carlos, who came to give us an overview on the reframing of the incident reporting system and what we should think about. So we talked about deliberating on whether the reporting system should be the main focus, or we should think beyond in terms of how it's going to be utilized, who are the people going to submit reports, and how this information is going to be used. Then Court and Booth and Rob Morrison also came in from Concord, Carlisle Human Rights Council. They also talked about their previous efforts to address hate and bias incidents in the town, and they're surprised that these issues persist. We had DM Maria Ryan, who did a very feather fluffing report, talked about how their anti-bias system came into place. It was created 5 years ago, and how it's utilized. So it's usually people who are reluctant to report to the police departments, their town police department, or their structural places like the schools that report incidents to them. So Concord, I didn't present the numbers here because there's a conflict between what was reported in the bridge and what was in the meeting. But I think the number of incidents in the past year, Concord was about 6, 8. That number, I think she said 6 or 8 new incidents that were reported from Concord, and these incidents were not previously brought to either the police or the superintendent, the school council. So she's and Concord is right high up there in terms of ranking, and so she's surprised that what is it that is making these people unable to follow their reporting structures. And I think there was something like I think most of them came about the school system. Was that right?
So, had the opportunity to speak with DA Ryan, after the advisory working group, and also spoke with, some of our, public safety officers. The understanding that I got from the takeaway from the conversation was that, well, Concord is about 1% of Middlesex County. For the previous 6 months, we were 100% of the complaints. Now, the way the reporting system works, and I recall that meeting, she had the Middlesex County DA's reporting tool. She had a sample of that for us. And from talking with the officers there that evening and subsequent, we channel the similar information into that. So what gets reported, the things that come from the school come through the school SROs, safety resource officers, and gets put into that. So everything that got reported, schools knew, and our police officers knew, and got to the DA's office. And I got that from the conversation the DA Ryan had that evening, subsequent conversations, and collating that with what I heard from our SROs. So I think the news, the bright line under it is that 1% of Middlesex County, 100% of the complaints. And the other comment that she made that I think made a bridge was that she's seeing things that were similar to what she saw 20 years ago. So I think certainly everyone's jaws around the table dropped that evening, and I think that's what fuels a lot of the concern, a lot of the conversation we saw, and are still having now, and sort of speaks to the necessity of bodies such like this and Concord United. So
thank you for the clarification.
Sorry, I'll ask a follow-up. So just so I have it right, 100% of the calls she's received, DA Ryan, in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, we're from
Concord. Yeah.
Concord.
Yeah.
And both community and schools.
Okay.
The exact number, 6 or 8 is.
Wasn't it 8? The 100% was 8, right? And then 60% of that the school, just so that we, give it context.
Yeah, we can probably call and ask her the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
More about the
Play with numbers.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get the 100%.
Yeah.
And just to briefly clarify, Andrea and I did have a meeting with, we connected with DA Ryan and Antonia Thompson and Megan Ryan from their office, from Middlesex County DA's office, and they committed to publishing this data that's already with the chief and the superintendent on their website. So it will be publicly made available, within the next 2 weeks.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah. So we'll digest it then when we get it. So we've also had Tim Landers from the police. And he talked about how their department handles investigations and how they triage and refer out where needed in terms of if it's a criminal case and the like. And then we had Mina Macarius, who is our town council, also talking about the importance of understanding the context within the town and how these complaints will be addressed. I think we'll be working with him more about the confidentiality concern on that end, because there is a need for people to be able to report anonymously and not be able to identify themselves. So we have some legal questions on how reporters' information will be protected. Then the charges, we've had two community focus groups that have been conducted by coordinated by Deb, and there'll be two more. One this Sunday. Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
March 8th. But it's a Sunday. Yeah, at the library. Which library?
Trustees feeling 1 to 3.
The main library, yeah.
Okay.
And how, the outreach for that, so can we help by promoting it
Yeah.
on our website and our social media?
Yeah, we talk about
No,
that
Yeah.
all the time,
Thank
how to
you.
get the word out. It's on the
And we
website.
haven't, right?
So Deb has written to the bridge
Okay.
and we have it on the town
It's on the
website.
homepage of the
Yeah.
town website, yeah.
Thank you.
And it's
And everyone you can tell, anyone you can tell, you think might be interested in just having, it's a very,
Yeah.
well, it's an open
Okay.
forum, you just talk about. She asks, I haven't seen, this is open, right? She asks questions and
Actually,
very low stress.
we may be able to ask the schools to share it on their newsletter. We have
We have asked the school committee representatives. for
okay,
that.
well,
Just if I can, there was a comment at the last focus group that it wasn't representative of minority communities, so, yeah. And this is, H.E. Turner made the comment, and so she kind of volunteered to spread the word. So we're trying to spread
Yeah,
the word
yeah,
through
yeah.
every channel.
great,
We have, it's, it's like everything else in town, getting the word out is
yeah.
multiple channels.
Yes. Yeah, so hopefully being a Sunday, there are not many who have work commitments, so the hope is what, and also I think one would be to try and target youth from the school, yeah.
Mhm.
No school on Sunday, hopefully, that goes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we've done several information gathering. We are yet also I know that the DEI prior to my being part of the commission has done some of this work. So I think we will need that information at some point. There we've looked at bias and hate incident reporting systems from several universities, BC, Harvard, BU, whatever, several towns, including government entities and police departments. Then I think the next level is really to identify mechanisms of reporting. We are collecting that data as well. And we are also in the process of identifying barriers that would prevent incidents from being reported safely and securely. So we're looking at platforms and how people are going to be reporting. Yesterday, Kerry confirmed that there is going to be an availability of a hotline that shouldn't be a hurdle. I think the only hurdle would be staffing of that hotline. And referral mechanisms. If someone presents a criminal case and yet want to maintain their confidentiality. So that's where we might engage the lawyer on how to deal with such things, as well as mandated reporting. We're also verifying, looking at ways of verifying the reporters so that it's not bots that are calling in as reporters, and then advice on how data should be collected, analyzed, and shared to inform training needs, police department or community focus groups. And then finally, how we should structure, manage, and utilize the reporting system and more. Yeah.
Good introduction.
Thank you, Agnes.
What incidents get reported? What is the follow-up? Who is?
Let me, I'm gonna get into that in a little bit,
Yeah,
at least theoretically, because
They give the.
that question has come up all the time, that, what do you do with the information? And that's high on our list to kind of tackle and get input on, which is one of the reasons we're having the forums. The forums are, we're going out to the public in private sessions, not in giant forums, and asking people about what the value you see in the reporting, what are the barriers to reporting, what do you see the uses of the reporting? So we're trying to get information sort of to educate us on the front end and the back end of the system. And just back up a little bit. So we are a working group, which is different than the committee. And the working group is very project oriented. So we started in November. We plan to end and get a report to the select board in May. And then there'll be an implementation phase, and people will be involved in figuring that out. And I'm the chair of the committee. It's sort of like a project. We have a deliverable, we have a work plan, which is on our website. You've talked about the two phases. The first phase was getting, we don't quite start from scratch, but we want to find out what's out there. We want to talk to a lot of people. We want to get briefings from a lot of different people. We just identified a new briefing we're going to need from our IT director. Because this system, when it's up and running, whatever it is, will probably be managed by the town. Kerry LaFleur has said, in human services, there are people who will be on the intake part of this. And with that intake will depend on all the reporting mechanisms. It won't just be a form. What we've heard from the community is they want multiple ways of reporting. A phone call, a forum, in person. So we're trying to figure that out. And then, but it'll all come together in data that we're trying to capture. Because ultimately we want to capture the data and just one other thing before I talk about this life cycle. It's my belief, and I think that the working group's belief, that there's chronic underreporting in town, that there are a lot of things that aren't reported, that criminal incidents are reported. In fact, we've had somebody at the focus group who's been sort of at the far end of vandalism, but he and his wife have said there were 5 times as many incidents that they didn't bother reporting. But when the reporting got to the level that reports to the police, yes, they went to the police, but they didn't report. We want to capture all that information, we're not going to decide,
Right.
whether it goes to the police or not. We'll advise somebody if it sounds, or the recipient will advise, if it sounds criminal, you got to call the police. But we want to capture things that span the whole range of things that are just hurtful and harmful and make people feel uncomfortable all the way to criminal. So with that, so let me explain this. I've been asked, and the beauty of PowerPoint, I've been asked several times sort of, how does this fit into everything else? And this is, the reporting system is a tool. There's a piece of a larger effort. And you guys are involved in the larger effort, and others are as well. The genesis of this reporting effort was a motion by the select board, which had 2 pieces. One was, I'll call it community engagement, community education, community outreach. That was the heavy lift. And we basically, the select board in that motion said, the DEI commission needs to take all this information and fix the world. I'm exaggerating. The incident reporting part of this was the focus here. So I have stars, which indicate sort of where this incident reporting system fits into what I call the life cycle. And I thought about the life cycle because what we want to do is sort of have continuous improvement. So so it starts with an incident, right? There's a harm doer, there's a motivation for that, there's an incident. That incident is reported either by the victim or by a bystander. Fortunately, we have a lot of bystander training, so that incident could be reported by a number of people. That incident is captured and reported. One of the first things there needs to be response. There needs to be immediate response to the victim. And so that's not the reporting group. That is the responsibility of, depending on the nature of the incident, it could be the police, it could be the DI commission, it could be the town social worker, it could be the Human Rights Council, but there has to be some immediate response. I think this is really important because what we've heard from the communities that if we're doing this, if we're reporting, we want something to happen, we want some action. And the action takes place at the individual level and I think at the community level. So if you go around the life cycle here, so after there is support for the victim, we're capturing the data, okay? And then there's a dotted line over here, which is pretty aspirational on the bottom. This system that we're creating, which is a town system, we don't want it to exist in a vacuum. We do know that the police have a system. That they get reports directly. We know the schools have a system. We know that the DA has a system. So not this aspiration will be ultimately that these systems can connect or the information can be exchanged. And we are not naive. We know that there's kind of barriers and confidentiality and other things for those interfaces, but we feel those could be overcome. So we don't want this system to exist in a vacuum. We want to have the bigger picture, and that bigger picture comes from all the pieces coming together. And even if some of it's redundant, something's reported to the police, we want to capture it in the system as well. Okay, so then we need to analyze, the town needs to analyze the data with help of you guys and others, because we want to analyze trends. We want to report out to the town management, to the community about the trends over time. So we have to analyze that data. And so the information goes to the select board, it goes to the town manager's office, it goes to others, the recipients of the data for some action. And then what is the action? There's community response actions that take all this information, and this is where DEI Commission, Human Rights Council, and other organizations in town, faith organizations, in some coordinated way, take the information and respond. We want the community to be aware of what's going on. So we're building awareness in here, and we're building community response. And I just put this together just to show where this reporting system fits in there. We're not ignoring that the uses of the data are key, and the trust that people have in the system so they we get the reporting is key. So I use this several times and nobody has said it's totally crazy yet. So I wanted to present that just so that we're thinking of how these pieces fit together. And ultimately, the community gets better over time, all right? The incidents decrease. Now, this is going to take many years to happen, many years of data, but each cycle, or maybe with each incident, there has to be some response at the individual or community level. So that's what this life cycle is about.
Thank you.
Any other questions on what we're doing? We plan to, I think I said May 1st, we'd like to have this report out. We just asked the select board for an extension, because originally the charge had December 31st, and our first meeting was November, so that didn't work out. So we got.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I also probably would have been a better representative. I didn't have all the information that there was a lot of work that had been previously done by this commission on some of this aspect of our work that I think would be useful, not to replicate efforts.
Yeah, and we have a SharePoint. I know you set up a SharePoint site with all the information we've gotten. We sort of assign people to go out to the universities, to the district attorney's office, to capture information what the towns are doing, and so there's some information on on what's out there. We wanted to make sure. The first reaction was, well, there's systems out there. Why don't you just take one of those and use them? We felt there was nothing off the shelf that could be used for this town. We had to have something that was designed specifically for our town, even if it contained components, that we could steal components from here and there and elsewhere. So we're trying to learn from what's out there as well. Okay.
Question. So somebody reports something, and I know this is all still hypothetical. You're still working with this all.
Yes.
But what when an incident is reported, you identify or the harm doer motivations and actions, response and support for victim. What is that? What could that look like? Is it respond? Is there an interaction between the town and the individual besides police? If it's not, if it doesn't rise to the level.
Well,
of
we have to
police?
work that out, but you know, most of the intake forms ask the question, do you want to speak to somebody? Do you want some help? Do you want some response? I mean, there could be an incident report, look, I just want to report it, leave me alone. We want to make sure that the individual that reports this has the ability to get some help. So the intake would probably be at Human Services, but there has to be a connection from Human Services to all the other potential help, whether it's the DI commission or the police or social worker. That, you know, that has its own little system in it that we haven't worked out, but it's just like, you know, those are my thoughts with that response has to come from the appropriate party if it's desired. And maybe the person will say, I want to speak to an individual that I know, or want to speak to the chair of the DI commission. You know, we want the individual to kind of take the lead in requesting some response, some help.
And if I may.
Yes.
So sometimes that comes, in my experience, in 3 different levels. One is immediate, which is just, we've received your report, not like just like an actual response, like an immediate one, a physical, and we will be working on it with this timeline or whatever, just to provide certainty to the person of the process. And then the emotional support or whatever else is being provided. And sometimes, depending on the level of offense, there is institutional response, which would look like a statement, or which would look like, you know, it depends on the level and what it is and the context of whatever happened. But sometimes that's a response to, you know, like if it actually, you know, if we have to issue a statement or the town or, you know, against hate or whatever it is, it varies. So there's usually not the one answer for that, but there has to be like varied levels of answers depending on what exactly happened.
Yeah, and trauma support, I think, because some people are
Trauma,
traumatized
medical.
by the incident, and that's the need for maybe social worker, or
Yeah.
if there is physical harm, then they would need a referral to the emergency room.
Yeah.
Let's say there's an intake person or an intake team. That person has to be well trained to listen and to know what resources are out there in the town, in the town structure outside the town to respond to. So it's a complicated little box, and the reporting, you don't see an asterisk next to that one, but that, you know, that has to be worked out by, once the report is in the select board's hands. I would say that is something that, you know, we need to figure out. The intake, the training, what happens to it, who gets notified.
And I know in May, is when you want to get something out. And that question that Nancy asked is the one people ask it all the time. One idea you might think about, not yet, but when you're ready, is when you feel comfortable, take an incident that really happened and run it through. Say, if someone had reported that they saw the N-word scrawled on the Brenton West Concord in August, and they had called this hotline and said, I just saw this, here's a picture. What would the system have done with it? I would just try that out so that when you talk about it with people, you can talk about it with a real incident or some other incident. It's a thought.
You know,
the answer is not, this is some idea, way to do it. I don't know.
And
That people go,
also
that's
beta
what
testing
would've
the
happened.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
They
you're
would have
right.
done that. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Well,
thank you guys.
thank you very much.
We appreciate, because this is something that's been on the agenda for a long time. So
Yeah.
we appreciate it. I'm sure these people have been working on it for a long.
I mean, it's complicated. We didn't want, and that's why we wanted all this input. We wanted, before we kind of jump into the structure of the form. This isn't a form.
Yeah.
Also, we're at best, we're reinventing what's already been done. And what I mean by that is, you know, my wife used to work in rape crisis center, and I'm thinking, well, those resources are places where we can go and say, well, what's your process and how you report? I mean, this work has been done by these groups for decades.
Yes.
I think it would be of value to interact with some of them saying, hey, what's your process of reporting and making it safe for the reporters and
I agree. We're also gonna talk to at the last meeting, we're gonna talk to the towns that have this system
yeah,
and ask them what their experience with this system,
like Hull,
what the
Massachusetts.
value.
Hull,
Yeah.
Massachusetts is one of the very first towns that
Mhm.
really did this in this area. They had a no hate decades ago. And so I'd like to wonder, well, how are they doing now?
Yeah.
You know, places like that, I think, because that information is out there, that history is out there. We just have to access it.
Yeah, and I can't promise we're gonna solve every one of these issues by May 1st. But we will launch it into the second phase of implementation and testing.
Thank you. Great. Okay, so moving to the next agenda item, Black historical marker.
Yeah. When we talked last time, it had just sort of just been proposed. The select board gave initial sort of like, yeah, go ahead, but please start engaging folks. So that's what Mimi, it's a combination between Mimi and Economic Vitality, Beth and the Visitor Center, and the Robbins House and the DI Commission. So what's happened since last time? A working group, an advisory group has been set up. And it's a real about 13 people, and 9 of them which are Black Concordians who either live here or work here to advise this project. And then we've been going to meetings of like the Cemetery Board, the Historical Commission, the Historic District Commission, Transportation, all these different groups, and presenting. And it's been really good because people are starting to build some meaning around it. What has to happen is that there's, like 20 potential sites. They've got to be, that group came up with a set of criteria, but what criteria would you use for like the best possible sites if we were going to have some trail markers for Black history? They're going to take those 20 sites, run them through their criteria, try to get down to 8 or 10, because they have to have those 8 or 10 to now go to historic district commissions and others to say, hey, we did one here. So I think all that part's going really well. I think it's interesting. We've had a little pushback from a small group of folks who are like trying to make meaning of like, why are we talking about Black history? Why aren't we talking about all history? Trying to help people understand there's a reason for elevating a particular narrative that hasn't been elevated before. And having Black voices on the committee is really helpful because they're able to answer those questions when they come up. So all's going well. If you have any questions, we'll know. I'll have an update next month too, if you want.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Does anyone? Yeah. Okay, so the next one is the town-wide dignity workshop series, update and next steps. Jimmy and I have been working with the Right Tavern to put that together. We have very good news. It's gonna be 3 sessions. It used, I don't know if you remember, it was planned to be 6 sessions, but it was cut short to 3. So the dates, we have the dates, and we also reserved the venue for that.
What's the?
It's Harvey Wheeler.
Oh, nice.
And we are co-sponsoring and doing the outreach and the venue, basically.
Nice.
April 14th, it's 3 Thursdays from 6:30 to 8:30. April 14th, I'm sorry, April 16th. May 14th and June 11th. Okay, and let me just, I'd like to talk a little bit about that content. So basically, we did introduce, like Donna Hicks, who's an award-winning author of the book Dignity and its essential role in the resolution of conflicts. And in the framework of what we're doing in Concord, we thought it was a very good idea to bring her to town so she can talk about her research on dignity and her proposal to how to address hate incidents or incidents that injure somebody's dignity and why that happens. So basically, she proposes, she shares a definition of dignity, what it is and what is not, the 10 basic elements of dignity that are the most common dignity injuries or that cause the most common dignity injuries. And then the 10 temptations to violate dignity, how we try to gain fake dignity by escalating the conflict. Anyways, it's a great framework. I've learned a lot from it, and we're very lucky to have her in town for those 3 sessions. We'll be doing the outreach. We are going to put together a flyer and share it, maybe mail it out to some residents. Is there anything you want to add, Jimmy?
We were talking about several different things, right? And one was that I proposed the privilege walk.
Yes, so on top of this seminar, we're planning to do other activities that have to do with dignity, that can complement this like town-wide workshop. And that's a fantastic one that we want to put together. Do you want to talk about it?
You've all heard of the privilege walk? It's a very simple but powerful exercise where you need a blindfold, people blindfold, and they line up in a line. And then there are 30 questions that are asked, and based on the question, you either step forward, stay in place, or move back. Like a simple question would be, did one or more of your parents attend college or not? What were you advised to do in school about extra reading outside of your classes? There's all these questions that you ask people with the blindfold, and then you take the blindfold off, and you. So the interesting thing is, it's really about the process that goes through your own head. And then when you open up, it's like, okay, nobody really knows how they got into those spaces because they weren't watching each question. They had the blindfold on, and it opens up for a lot of discussion afterwards. I've done it about 3 or 4 times. It's a process that's been done all over the country. It's very simple and very powerful because you're going through your whole process.
Right.
When you get
It
the
is
question
very
asked about, oh, well, should I be stepping forward or should I be stepping back or stand still? Even though the answers are very simple, but it puts you through a whole mindset. It's an evolution just with these questions, very simple. Very
So
cool.
what happens after you go through that process?
You take the blindfolds off, everybody sees where they are, and then people can report in their experiences of how they got there. And notice, all of these questions caused me to just stand still or go back, but what gave me the advantage? And, so you'll see people in the front and the back, but you don't personally know how they got there. So it's still even though it's a group exercise, it's still really the focus stays within your own self because you're going through your own process. Everybody else is going through it too. And then you come out together and like, wow, look at where we got. How diverse are we? Or not?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. So that's coming up. We have to organize a time and place for that one. So that's the update on that item. The next one is the strengthening cooperation between Commission and League of Women Voters. That Nancy asked we put in the agenda.
Yeah, I think we can, working together, we can accomplish so much. And the league is committed to this kind of work. In fact, the league was involved in
That's
setting
right.
up the commission.
Wouldn't exist without the league.
So
Yeah.
I think we need to look for more ways we can cooperate, given that we're in a very difficult time.
Do you think, are you thinking also, because you've been sort of the league's connection, is there another league, maybe talk to the group, is there another league member that wants to seek
we're still
on the
looking,
commission?
but-
Okay, but that's not the only way to do it, but that's one thought that I
Yeah, I
had.
think we should.
Yeah. And then maybe, yeah, that we could also, some committees have liaisons. We could say we end up with not a league member on the new commission slots. We could then make sure one of our existing members is the league liaison
Oh, that would be
That
very cool.
is responsible for
That would
going
be
to
liaison.
their meetings and
Meetings and
reporting back
reporting.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
Just a suggestion, see how it goes, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. The next item is the 2026 DEI Commission survey. Our first survey was 4 years ago. I know, right? And we talked a little bit about it at the beginning of our meeting. So this year, so it's gonna be every 4 years, I guess, now. Hopefully, every 4 years, somebody will take it on. So for this to happen, basically there are different steps. The first one would be to have the questionnaire. We already have it, the one we used last time. I would suggest we use the same one so that we
Yes,
collect
compare data.
the same data and we can compare it. Sometimes, it's, you could add a couple more questions if we feel the need
But
to
we
do
keep
that.
the ones for sure.
For sure.
Data.
I do remember there was one problem with one of the questions when we analyzed the results because it was just not articulated correctly. So I'm gonna look into improving that question. And then I like to present the questionnaire to you guys so we can vote on it. And then after that, it's just really easy. We just put it up on a form. And then get it out.
Yeah, we had a system where it was people could do it online, they could pick up hard copy. You could tell the town, send me one, you could pick it up at the townhouse, and there was a whole system.
We sent out.
Remember to help you with.
Yes, I think the outreach is actually the biggest part.
And we had it's over close to 650 responses, which were
The
town survey.
highest response rate.
Yeah, we
in
beat
town.
yeah. Right, the Concord 2030 one, we had higher than that, so.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it, and I think end of the outreach, exactly, like it's gonna be on all our social media, and we do have to, it's usually, last time it was open for, I think, 2 months. So if we can approve a questionnaire by March and maybe prepare the materials, like, the new flyer with the little text that is gonna come on it. And
I should know this, I haven't memorized town meeting date this year.
April 27th.
April 27th, I don't know. That's
I
too
guess,
soon.
Joe and Andrea, didn't we have it included in the program for town meeting?
Yeah,
And that was like a
it'd be
great way
nice.
to get it out there.
Yeah, exactly. It was in some of the town meeting materials. You don't pick up everyone, but you pick up a lot of very involved people.
Yeah.
I thought we shared the results during town meeting, not the form.
Well, perhaps.
But we can, are you saying share the form during? Yes, that's absolutely that. Yes, I think that's a good idea, Josh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's coming up. So you know
a deadline too. Right?
Yes. Oh, and so how do we do that? I'm sorry.
Well, if you bring the survey to our next meeting, maybe send it to us ahead of time to look at. We discuss it at the next meeting, approve it, and that would still be a month and 2 weeks before.
But I think we can still start getting the town to print it in the flyer, the link to the survey. The survey doesn't have to be finalized before that. We know it's going to be 90% of what the old one was. We just have to ask the town to put a page in that, whatever that thing is, the warrant booklet. Mark, you know what it's called.
The warrant's already been published, and it was in with your copy of the bridge last weekend, so.
Oh, no.
With your recycling bin.
But there's something isn't there something they give out that night at town meeting?
A town meeting briefing book.
Yeah.
And
Can we get our QR code on that?
Gonna have to move fast. I'm just looking for the date on that.
Yeah.
Calendar is not a friend at the moment.
The QR code has to go.
And while we're waiting there, my calendar might be wrong, but it says that Carlos Hoyt is doing his 3 workshops tonight.
Yeah.
Overlap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's hard.
Could the commission? Could the commission take out a full page ad with a QR code in the Concord Bridge?
We can do the bridge. We last time we did posters and we did little tabletops and we went around town.
You went around town.
I went around town and had like every restaurant and coffee. Some did, some didn't, but and so that's how we did it last time. This time we have the schools, maybe they can share the QR code. And then what do you think we can do, Mark, with during town meeting? That would be great.
But you could probably likely put up a poster or something like that in the lobby. I think
Of
that'd
course.
be pretty straightforward. The deadline for completion of the annual town meeting briefing book is March 30th. So that's when all the motions, the recommendations from all the committees in there, so any additional material that goes in there, I think the thing to do would be to maybe have a quick conversation with Shannon about any possibility of getting into that, and might have to also touch base with Carmen since, but it's just because that gets published and mailed to everybody. But that's on a pretty, next week we start really getting into the content of that, and there's not a lot of time to publish, so
I mean,
I would assign somebody that task if you have an interest. It's not the only way out, but to get things out, but if you want that vehicle, it's already on the starting line.
yeah, so all it would have to be is a QR code to the DEI webpage. And then once they go to the webpage, that could be where the survey is. Ryan, do you have any interest in working on this?
Like a rollout kind of, we're working on.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And also we need a little, like a design so last time we did posters, tabletops, and we mailed out postcards to 4,000 households.
Okay.
So we need a little design with the QR code and a text, basically. I can probably share with you what we had last year. And then if we can get that together, we can vote it on like everything, including the questionnaire on the 26th of March. If that's too rushed or too late, too close to the deadline, we could maybe meet online.
Yeah.
To just vote on it earlier. If
Yeah, I was gonna say our next meeting is late March.
Yeah.
We be thinking about having a meeting between now and then, actually, so we can be on the record of the conversation.
Yeah, it would be just on this topic, perhaps,
Yeah.
right? It's just
Yeah,
on
very
the survey. Yeah, you guys organize date that's good for you all. Tell us.
Okay, thank you. All right.
And Josh, you had experience doing this in the past, right, for the last survey? So I'm looking, he's over here, over there. Hey, Josh.
Well, like all things, Andrea was actually the mastermind, but I'm happy to help if I can on this. I think it's awesome that we're going to run it again. I mean, that's exactly the kind of data-driven approach that we said we needed to have. So I think it'll be fascinating and probably a little upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Well, were the 650 respondents last time, or approximate, all Concord? Is there a way to control for Concord?
Yeah, you put whether you work, well, they're all people who work here.
Study here or live here, and it was open to the 3 different populations.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that. I don't think we had that question, did we? We might have?
I can't remember. I think
we could add that.
look on
I looked at the results a while back.
What can I say again?
People who work, study, or live in Concord.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're trying to be super inclusive.
Yeah. G, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, Andrea. Good to see everybody. So I'm so happy to hear this survey will be shared through public school also, the email blast. So I'm just wondering, for this email blast, will the students, for example, at high school level, will be able to receive, or only being kept for the parent side only.
It's fun too.
I mean, we would love it if the students respond too, of course. We can certainly ask the schools to share it with both the parent community, the
Mhm.
staff, and the students.
Yeah,
That would
that would
be
yeah, that'd be wonderful.
amazing. Yeah, and last time we shared it with all the different congregations, the faith communities, and organizations around town. The league was a great ally. Um, everybody who would listen.
Yeah, Magnolia is really fast. She's pulled up the data. It was 570 lived in Concord.
Oh,
18 studied in Concord, 180 worked in Concord. And there was also a Venn diagram that shows you the slight overlap. And 24 didn't say. So yeah, we did ask that question.
Can you?
I'll have to look for it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well,
In another
Yeah, it's
computer.
fine. Yeah, no,
So
I'm
we-
excited about the survey.
good.
Okay.
And the school did a few months ago, I believe, the climate survey. I think it's the climate survey at the school for the students. I guess some parents maybe. Do we invite them to share the results and have conversation in the spirit of what Mark was sharing earlier, and also our charge about working better and collaborating with the school? It'd be great for all of us to hear what those results are and see how we can help if there's anything we can do, just their
Absolutely.
data.
It's called the Panorama Survey.
Panorama, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be a question you could ask at Concord United or
Yeah.
just direct outreach to the
I
superintendent.
think we could actually invite them and have them present the results and their methodology and what they did. Brian, I think that's a great, yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. I think we can just reach out to them and do that. Yeah. Okay, so we're almost done. The last item, basically town event celebrations and discussions, Black History Month. Please don't forget our community coffee, March 4th. I gave you the dates for the dignity workshop.
Do we have a date for, I mean, Rose, if you're still on, do we have a date for a town holy celebration this year?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can, yeah.
Okay. So we're doing this in collaboration with the South Asian Student Society at the high school. And so they're in the process, I believe, May I'm not in front of a calendar right now, sorry.
All right.
Is May 4th, a Saturday?
Okay, it's not in April, then it's gonna be May, so you're
It's
saying.
in May because last time when we held it in April, we ran into like some pretty cold weather. And given the current weather conditions, we're trying to hope for some more warmer weather by then. So
When you have a date,
yeah. So right now, if May 4th is a Saturday, they're looking at that Saturday, and they're going to come up with an alternative. If there's a weather, like weather date, if there's like rain or anything like that, probably the following day.
you think you're doing it at Emerson Field like last year, or have they not got that far yet?
So they're planning on having it at CCHS this time.
Great, awesome.
So especially as they're thinking about long-term sustainability and doing it, and they're actually trying to collaborate also with all of the other affinity groups in town as well. So it's really a collaborative effort. So really, there could be like a cross-cultural celebration. So that's the hope and the planning around it. And my understanding is that they actually just had a joint affinity group meeting just yesterday at the high school. In order to build greater solidarity and connection and relationship among affinity groups in town. So I think we're really hopeful that this could be another activity that works towards that together.
It sounds very cool.
The first Saturday in May is May 2nd, by the way, which is the end of town meeting week.
Great. So then I believe it's May 2nd, but I'll circle back and confirm that. But I'm pretty sure it's May 2nd. The kids did follow up and just let me know because they met they usually meet on Monday and they had a snow day, but they still all met virtually just for this planning purposes.
Okay, cool. Rose, do you want to talk about the Concord Carlisle adult community or education?
It's actually happening right now. So if folks want to leave and go to that, Dr. Hoyt is actually the event. I feel bad that we intersected with it, actually.
I know.
And then there's the other collaborative one is at the end of March, all the letters with Robin Oaks. on the 31st. So these are two examples of the DI Commission collaborating with the schools and the adult education. So that's good.
Great.
And it's all on our website.
Okay, thank you, Rose. Okay, so I'll open the.
Just one question, comment, two quick ones. For Black History Month, so I know we're coming to the close on that and moving into Women's History Month. But I just want to congratulate, he already stepped out, Dr. Williams, who is going to be celebrated tomorrow by the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus, the state representatives, state and Senate representatives who are Black and Latino, and he's receiving the Black Excellence Award. So I wanted
the State House.
Yeah, at the State House tomorrow. There'll be pictures, and so congratulations to him. And I think, and congratulations for the 1 year anniversary of the middle school opening this past year, the Ellen Garrison building. So it was a 1 year anniversary this week, and I had a conversation with Mr. Cameron today, and he's very proud and has a lot of plans for it.
Yeah, they're doing a program with the Robbins House, and their Ellen Garrison interpreter will be there. Talking to the kids, so be nice.
Oh, that was very cool. Yeah, so cool.
Thank you so much, Brian, for raising that, and congratulations, Michael. So well deserved, and how timely also at the 1 year anniversary of the opening of the middle school. So amazing.
Yeah.
Funny how things work out.
Okay, so I'll open the floor for public comment.
Hi, I'm Ed Larner. I'm on the housing board down, and I just want to take a minute to say how important DEI Commission's work is for us in the housing community. The great reform bill that went through in 2014 and took about 8 years for it to be implemented, but it changed around how the waiting list works for people that are applying for housing. And in the meanwhile, the housing crisis that we're in now came up, and of course, with all the turmoil on the borders, and we had a huge amount of what we call emergency housing needs. And so where in the past, mostly, if you're a Concord resident and you're anticipating maybe downsizing and you make the income limits for affordable housing, it was a 2 to 3 year waiting list. If you planned ahead of time when you were going to retire or something like that. But all of a sudden, we went from a local waiting list for every town in the Commonwealth to a statewide. And the priority was always local residents first, veterans, local veterans. But the only exception to that were emergencies, and we didn't really have an emergency back 10, 15 years ago. So all of a sudden we needed to be a more welcoming community, because people were we would look at the list and the top 10 emergencies. We would send them a communication and say there's a housing opportunity here, whether it's a single unit for just a single person or family units, and both categories, people just didn't want to come to Concord, and this was a problem that we talked about. I remember we had a symposium over at the townhouse, the DEI committee put out, and a lady came saying she doesn't feel comfortable coming to Concord, and so. I think the work that you guys are doing has really helped on this. I'm sure your survey is going to come up and do that, but we needed your help as well as we needed to be more active. So in 2014 or 15, we changed our mission statement to include advocacy for affordable housing. Just a really short statement, but it made a big difference. And all of a sudden, the town is really, we had 40B projects that they're going to add to about 400 units if the developers decide they actually pull the permits, right? We're in this in between time about development right now. So, but we also have done quite a bit for not only just low income housing, but for moderate income people. So the different categories go from 30%, which is probably somebody that's homeless, to 150% of what we call the AMI, the average medium income for this area. So anyway, I just wanted to say that housing and DEI go well together.
That's right.
Of course.
And so I'm looking forward to this, the whole cooperation working out, and the town will be it will be Concord because it will be different from everywhere else. So, and the other thing I want to talk about is like last time, I missed the January meeting, I apologize. But the last time I was here, we talked about ageism being a different, another category with the other normal ones for diversity. And Mark was talking about how we need to get people volunteering, to do all these things that are going on. And I think we have, I was trying to figure out where is there ageism? And I thought about our elections. And there was this movement. I don't want to talk about the national, thing, but here in Concord, there were last year's election. There was talk about getting new blood in, or people's age. The people that seem to be running the town were older. We needed younger people to come in. Well, I think it'd be a good idea for the DEI maybe to make a statement, and not just to remind candidates that it is ageism to say that somebody's too old to do a job.
That's right.
Because a lot of people that are older, they may not be as competent as they were when they were 40 or 50 years old, but they have an awful lot more time available. And I know how hard the select board works, and it's a full-time job. It really is. So, but I've been retired for a long time, so I kind of enjoy coming to talk to you guys, talk to other people. So maybe you guys could think about making a statement just to say to candidates, it's kind of like in the past when people didn't realize what they were saying was
right. It's education,
detrimental to other people.
Yeah,
because we don't want this pool of I would say talent, but actually just sometimes it's a body that needs to be on these boards or committees and just getting out there as poll workers and things like that. So anyway, I hope you guys might consider doing that. And the bridge, I think, would be pretty open for that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think we do want to all live in a town where everyone's valued, no matter who you are. And I think you should definitely come to the DEI Commission's forum with the candidates. You should ask that question and ask them to talk about it, because I think it's important. I think you're right. Some people say things, and I know we all have done in our lives. I know I have, about lots of things you don't think about. But once you get educated, you go, oh, I didn't understand that. Now I do. I'm going to do something different. So you can help us with that. Yeah, we all heard him.
I'm not going to go name names,
right.
But there was a candidate that left in the middle of the thing. Maybe she had another thing, but she did not get elected. So maybe that is the power of the EI forum.
Well, education.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's somebody.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Yana.
Yes. Hi. I wanted to go to the other meeting, the Concord Carlisle, meeting, but I just wanted to say that I'm concerned. I don't know about elders knowing about these meetings. Also at night, I can't get transportation because I don't want to walk on the ice, or I don't drive at night. And so just accessibility has been a hard thing. And I don't really know how to become part of working with you. I've sort of reached out and emailed, but I'm not good with computers. And I live in Concord in a building that's mixed housing, but none of my neighbors know about about these meetings or about what's happening. So I don't know how you're reaching out to seniors or people that are retired. And I like the idea about talking about the ageism, because it's not just Concord, it's every place. But we can be invisible. And I would like to be able to come to the meetings, because watching it on Zoom, I can't really hear people well, and I can't get a feeling for how I could contribute when I'm just watching it on Zoom. And thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. We should discuss how to make, the meetings more accessible.
Yeah.
Even at the senior center, I go to the senior center and haven't really heard.
Thank you, because I was just saying that, the Council on Aging in Concord is, I've been involved with them and they're really good. And I think that we should interface because I
Yeah.
think they could provide, announcements and like give rides to like what Carlos is doing tonight. A lot of people
Well,
can't.
they can't give rides at night.
Oh, they
They're
can't.
open on Thursday nights now, but they don't have transportation at night. And I would love to have some kind of volunteer or community outreach so that people could have rides.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Okay. Is there any other?
Don't give up.
comment?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm new here, first time. My name is Barry Kagowski, but you can call me BK. Burger King, like, you're gonna remember. That was my big name, you'll never gonna remember. So, you said incidents, what kind of type of incidents in Concord?
Bias and hate incidents. So if you
Are
receive.
they transparent, can we see them?
Really?
Meaning like a list of
Like-
incidents, like, for example, names calling or.
Yeah, as little as that,
Yes.
and as bad
it's
as
the
you
most
were
serious.
pushed or you're harmed or if someone bumped your car or
Oh,
whatever,
like
yeah.
damage.
Or hurt you, yeah, things like,
Emotional also.
yeah, or verbal abuse,
Because of your identity.
yeah.
So, but they're not transparent, we cannot read them.
No.
Can't.
Why?
There's no, that's the whole thing. There's
That's
no-
why we're developing the system right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so by
That's-
the summer.
So why, if I am anonymous,
Mhm.
let's say, person, why the rest of the public cannot read incident or some problem like that in the town? Not revealing your identity.
That's interesting. That's something we'll.
It's very simple, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, in police reporting, you always have to look at it from the victim's perspective of protection
Okay.
of who they are and how much they want to be notified or put into the public. So it's a two-way street.
When
Sometimes.
Amsterdam files, we look what they're doing, right? They cross over the names that the owners tell us.
Yes.
So how come, we don't need to, expose the victims or just of the nature of the incident, so, and where this happened? Because that way we have more awareness about everybody in the
Well,
town that they
there's a
are.
place to-
It's not so ideal town that many people
No.
think that there's incidents against this one or that one or whatever.
Yeah.
So we
Yes.
can promote freedom.
That's what
Right.
we're trying to do, actually.
Oh, that's
what we're trying
that
to
was
do.
confusing because
no.
that's thank you for
Mhm.
telling
Yeah.
us about incidents, but I said, what kind of incidents they are talking about? It's outside it here. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But even in the reporting of the incidents, we have to be careful of the protection of the people who have been victimized. That, we can only go as far as they want us or feel.
Yes,
safe.
absolutely, modification of everything, but let's say, first time I've heard in my life that the incident bias incidents of racial or whatever, or ageism. Or
Yeah. And we have 3 different jurisdictions, I would say.
Okay.
The schools,
Mhm.
they have their own system.
Institutions.
The town,
Mhm.
we don't have a system.
Oh.
And the police. So.
We know this, their system.
So what we're trying to do is
Have an interface.
to see the, like the 3 different ones, and of course, each organization has their own criteria to what they, collect and what they publish. So that's what we're trying to do.
Excellent.
And then you
Yeah.
have the police and the fire. in their reporting. So there's a whole bunch of different levels of how information goes and how we can be,
So we have to simplify.
how we can be transparent, but at the same time protect all the different interests. Because if somebody is being assaulted and having a hard time, there are different security aspects of that that you don't want to expose publicly. You know, sometimes.
You misunderstood me. Let's say
Yeah.
I'm called by someone in the town by bad name or whatever, right?
Right.
Which I experienced in my life. So you don't need to expose my name. You don't need to expose any location.
No, no.
But general location is Concord. So the people
Yeah.
from
Yes.
that this road know that Concord is not clean of this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Or that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
We're trying.
Yeah, this is new. It's still in development.
It's very interesting because I come from Europe. I lost my country there, Yugoslavia. For example, if you do a crime in Europe, in Yugoslavia, 8 p.m., you're not gonna watch Sesame Street. You're gonna watch this person, name, everything.
Oh.
Everything is exposed. And what happens next?
Of course,
Crime is reduced. Reduction of crime. But it's not logical at all. I'm 35 years in America and still cannot understand that.
So BK, you said you're new here. Are you new to the meeting or are you new to the town?
No, I live very close by the prisons.
Yeah.
And I saw this kind of talks about LGBT community with an attack, anti-Semitism, especially, and all that. All these rights and freedoms.
Yeah,
especially now, this we know why. And so I said to my friend, I want to see what is going on. I never been anywhere in this town public. This is my first time. Because of course it's important to me because I survived this kind of stuff. Hard way. During the war in Yugoslavia and all that. I mean really extreme way. So the small stuff like this bothered me today when it's not exposed and transparent.
So I was going to
just like our administration does.
I was going to suggest
Glad you
one of
came.
those focus groups where they're going to bring in community members, people can show up, share thoughts, or just hear what other people.
See, I don't know this system at all. I'm lawyer by trade actually from Yugoslavia, but I have no idea what is this actually.
Yeah, so that
I thought it's gonna be a meeting about LGBTQ for community. So that's why I came actually.
Oh,
So I'm in a-
that was across the street at 5:30. They had food. Next time.
But it's
Yeah.
very-
I'm glad you came to this one. You should come to the other one.
Actually, by mistake, I made, so I made a mistake. right?
No, it actually worked
But
out.
it's not a mistake at all.
No.
It's actually very good.
You're
Yeah.
very
I'm very
welcome.
happy.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of familiar.
But come next month. It's the last Thursdays every month at 5:30 across the
So
street.
it was canceled.
No, it was there. They both happen to be the same time.
But we came here.
Never listen to you again.
I think we're trying to reserve.
This is
Council of Aging is this building, right?
No, it's across the street.
It's across the parking lot.
Why did you call me?
I sometimes feel like we're AJ. They go on for a while.
This is it.
But it's
Adjourned.
interesting. I would have never met you, but.
Yes.
Yes.
We said, in Yugoslavia, we said, we have mistakes, but we make people.
That's right. That's right. Nice to see you again.
The motion
Thank you
to,
for sharing this.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
if there are no other questions,
Let's,
motion to
yes,
adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Should I have a
Adjourn.
second?
Second.
Yes.
Third.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone online.